Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. Everybody. Thank you guys for jumping on All Things Possible today. I welcome you. I invite you to sit down. We have a few different lives tonight. We have 3 back to back. And whatever you're not able to catch right now, you can always catch it on a replay. I thank you guys for jumping in, jumping on. Tonight, I invited my friend René DeAnda. Oh, I said it wrong. It went that quick. So many things are going in my head. Anyways, Renee's coming on tonight. She is going to share with us what she does. So the other day, I posted something. There she is. All right, hold on, Renee. If you see the request to come on camera with me, go ahead and click that now. I can't request you yet, but you are showing up. So I seen her commented on one of my posts, and her profile picture caught my eye. So I went on her page and was like, I asked her, what do you do? Because she said she worked with art and frequency and vibration to help raise, to maintain your frequency. And I was like, what? I want to know more. Will you come on the live and share with us? And she agreed. So we're going to bring her on in a few moments here. I'm going to try to see if I can request her. Renee, you're showing up, but I can't. Oh, there it goes. Perfect. Bam. All right. So we're going to bring on my friend Renee. We're going to find out what she does and how can that possibly help you. There it is. Hello. Welcome to All Things Possible. Thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, let me get this going. I can't see. Let's see. Can you hear me?
You can't see me? Yes, I can hear you and I can see you fine. The camera's a little bit like up here if you want to put it down just a little bit. Oh no, there you go.
Okay. Yay.
All right, that's great. Hello, thank you for coming on. I was just saying, I seen you commented on something and your profile picture caught my eye. And I went on your page to see what you're doing. And when you said vibration and frequency, I was already hooked. And then you said you help others to learn how to raise that frequency and to maintain so we can create the lives that we want to. That's the purpose I'm doing these lives for us to learn different tips and tools so that we can create a life that we want to live, right?
Sure.
So that's how I met you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what do you do.
So thank you, first of all, so much for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity. And my name is René DeAnda, and I teach people how our electromagnetic bodies work. And it's all about physics, and it's so much easier than the traditional teachings of it, I think, when you think about it in terms of physics and the electromagnetic system that we actually are. And so that's my light's gonna go out. There we go. Okay. I've got all this equipment. And
I know you said that you had all the equipment ready. I was like, no, we need our phones. So hello, Red. Thank you for coming back on again. So learning, and you said that you help people learn to maintain their can you say that again?
I teach them how it works, and then how to drive their engine, and then how to maintain it. So it takes, when you're like, if you're maintaining a car, it takes more than one tool to maintain that car.
Right.
You might have a hammer, but it's not going to fix everything on that car. So,
right.
So it's the same with us. We need various tools to maintain a high vibration, and those tools range anywhere from, just breathing, simple breathing exercises, to reframing a situation and learning how to do that, or dancing, art, music, aromatherapy, all of those are tools.
So many tools. Yes. That's why I'm doing this too, because there's not just one tool. Like you said, it's not just one thing that drives a car. To maintain it, you have to take care of the oil, the gas, the everything,
Yeah.
the transmission. And so all these different tools that are coming out more now into the public, I want to be able to have people who don't know about them to, first of all, learn about that and then have access to them. Can you give a little, I know you have clients and so that you work with them, and not to give all your secrets away, but to give a little tip of, like, I know you said breathing. That's my major tool. That's my number one tool I pull out first. And then I start using others when that has either calmed me down or sometimes feels like it's not enough. I need more tools. So I use, like you said, so many different things. It just depends on the moment and the situation of what's happening. I can use the breathing. I do EFT also.
Yes.
Journaling.
Yes.
I go straight to praying.
Yes.
Sometimes crying.
Yes.
It depends on what it's for. All those are tools for me too, to let it out. Music, like you said, is another one for me.
Absolutely.
Oh, look, April just said crafts. Crafts can be very useful to be creative, to help you lift the frequency as well. As a matter of fact, speaking of craft, behind you, can you tell us what that is behind you?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for asking. That's my baby over there. It is actually the depiction, my personal depiction of the electromagnetic body. So it also has things inside of it. You can see over there on the wall, that is actually a picture of what's inside of it. And there's a little peephole in the back that you can see through it, but it's got a heart. Wow. And the heart is beating, and it has crystals, and it has wood, water, air. All of that is represented, and the crystals, and it has metals, and it has everything that we are in there. So represented. And then the tendrils are the electromagnetic pulses going out to pull in the cooperative components. Yeah, and then on the front.
And you made that?
I did. And on the front is the tree of life. And the tree of life is made out of multicolored copper wire, and to represent all the colors. And then also it has a little strand of DNA represented, and the passion, I call it the dragon heart, represented.
Wow, that is beautiful. And you said for you it represents, what is it, the human? You said it represents something else before that, or for you?
For me, it represents the electromagnetic body that we are. So our thoughts are electric.
Right, that's what you said.
Yeah, so our thoughts are electric, and that's depicted by the heartbeat. And then our emotions are magnetic, and that's the swirl. And they get together and they create the whole electromagnet.
Ooh, and then sends out all the frequencies and energy. I know when I first learned about vibration, it hit me so hard, because one of the things we always say in the islands, right? I'm from Trinidad. Thank you, everybody who's jumping on.
Yes,
one of the things that we say a lot to each other is good vibes, or we're always announcing vibes. And so there's one that we say Irie vibes or good vibes or whatever. And then when I understood that vibration is more than just an actual feel of a vibration, that it was a frequency, and that vibration of your body and your mind can go up and down according to your emotions. It made so much sense to me. And then learning from Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, and then Abraham Hicks and Wayne Dye, all these great teachers that helped remind us of what vibration was. I started playing around and paying attention to see, first of all, if I'm in a low vibration, how that would bring more. Like I would be stuck there for a while. And when I learned about that and started actually working on my vibration to raise it up, like I said, using some of those tools, I would realize that once I was there in that vibration, I'd have more experiences that would lead to more of that type of vibration. So learning how to, when I was down, sometimes I would try to switch it right away, and realize, after a while, I realized that I needed to kind of take it in, feel what that low vibration was feeling like, because it was also trying to teach me something.
Yes.
And then from there, if I didn't want to stay there and I got the lesson and that was enough, to raise my vibration.
Yes.
right?
Yes. So, and I
And
think,
so I know you said,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was going to ask you to elaborate a little bit more on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they feel that, that negative vibration, not a negative vibration, but the different vibration that doesn't feel so good, um, a lot
Right,
of times
lower.
their go-to is, well, feel happy, be happy, do something, be happy. But you have to process it. Otherwise, it will hurt your
Yes.
body. It will come out in
Yeah.
dis-ease. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. It will be in disease. And I think about too how sometimes, you know, when they say sweep it under the rug. Well,
Mm-hmm.
if you keep sweeping shit under the rug, you're gonna have a pile of dirt on your rug. You're gonna have to clean it up eventually anyways. And so instead
Absolutely.
of having to go get this big old dustpan and do all this work on yourself, if when it comes you feel it, I realize feel it, and then work on it to change and shift it to the vibration. Because sometimes you're shifting and you're not even knowing yet, you know what I mean, the lesson that is brought to you. Also, thank you everybody again who's jumping on. I see friends are jumping on right now.
Yes.
And we are talking about vibration and frequency. Um, One of the things too I do to help me is actually find frequency music, right? So now we know what the different hertz carry different vibration and music that can help shift your subconscious thinking. And so a lot of times I sleep with either frequency music or in my meditation, I will look for frequency music. Again, it just depends on what is happening with me at that moment. Um, that frequency music can help. Do you use that also in your with your clients?
I do. So the
Yeah.
binaural beats is they're good, and there's like one tone in one ear and one tone in the other ear, and then they make a
Mm-hmm.
third tone, and that's helpful. And I like to just have music playing sometimes in the background, just the different hertz music, like you said, like the 525 and the four. I can't remember exactly what all the numbers are.
32, I think it
Yes.
is. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so I like to have
Yeah.
them in the background depending on what it is I'm trying to do, for sure.
Yes, the same thing for me too. It just depends on what I'm trying to do. Most of the times I'm just trying to tell myself to tap into source, because you just jump, like sometimes I go into even my meditation, I have to remind myself as I sit down, because I've made it a part of my routine, right? Every morning I have these things that I do in order. And so it almost becomes automatic to just sit down and go into meditation. I have to tell myself, in order to be present, like, what am I doing this for? What is the reason I'm sitting here for? What is the reason I'm trying to raise my vibration, so that I can tune in more into what it is I'm, become more direct in my manifestation, I guess, in my doing this. I want to be more direct in what it is I'm doing, and not just out here just where one of the questions I want to ask you too is, where did you learn most of your information from, frequency and stuff? I know they're all over, but is there a particular teacher that called out to you that helped you understand this better?
Yes, the first teachings that I was introduced to that really helped was through Abraham Hicks. And
Okay.
she just really, Esther is an amazing
I know they're a
person.
huge. That's why most people who come on to our on my page, actually, a good couple of thousand people I know are from. I got friends from Abraham Group's page, and so a lot of people I know are very familiar with who they are.
Yes.
I know the very first time I heard Abraham, I went to a Hay House conference, and I Can Do It conference, and Louise Hay. Everybody kept talking about Louise Hay, Louise Hay. Now, she was not at that conference, but I was like, "Who's Louise Hay?" And it was like, "She's the one who's responsible for." I was like, "What? Who is she?" I have to go check her out. I remember pulling up her video and going, "Oh my God, this is like, it felt like this was like she was my soul sister. Like, this is what I was supposed to be doing too."
Yes.
And I felt like she was like, "Hey, reminding me this is what you're supposed to be doing." And she talked about Abraham Hicks almost in every video, and I was like, "Who is this Abraham Hicks? Let me go check." And I listened to one video, and I remember being blown away,
Yes.
because the information is not normal human. It had to be something higher to me, because it fed my soul, like when you're starving and you have that hot meal. It felt so good.
Absolutely.
And so then I went to go look up who Abraham Hicks, and I was like, "Oh Lord, people are gonna think this is crazy," but something in my mind, my spirit tells me that this is real. And so I'm telling you what, for about 2 years, every morning I had to listen to and I wasn't working at the time, so I had the time. I'm sorry, I had to. I dove into Abraham's teaching so faithfully.
Me too. Yes, daily.
I dove into it so faithfully. And then a realization came that with any teacher and all teachers, it comes a point where you now have to take on your own learning and you'll have your own information downloaded to you. And so I'm so grateful to them for coming and sharing the message and helping so many of us wake up to, the information like frequency, like vibration, and like not only in manifestation, but just life in general, allowing life to take its course, right? So
Yes.
it's been a fun journey. It's ups and downs, but more ups. One of the things I also learned, and I talk about a lot too in my lives, is when I did go to that conference, I noticed how people were in such a good mood, right? And all the people that came on stage, they were in such high vibration. I was thinking,
yeah,
can they ever get sad? Because you're surrounded by people who's always so happy.
yeah.
And so when someone is down, and again, I always say, my friend said, well, of course they do, but their fraction time is probably shorter than us. And so when you practice on keeping that vibration high, it becomes a little bit easier to say, okay, I know what tool to use to help raise that from where I am right now. As a matter of fact, I did that this morning. What are some of the ways that you do yourself daily to keep your frequency high, and what would you recommend for other people who don't know that much about how they can raise their own frequency?
So you talked about meditation, and I have to say that meditation has always been difficult for me, but recently I have found that there's a certain breathing technique that turns on the electromagnetic, it revs up the electromagnetic body. So it's always on, but it kind of revs it up. And it's basically, and it doesn't matter if you breathe in or out through your nose or mouth, just so you use the same one on the out breath. So you breathe in, like 3 counts, you fill up your lungs and your belly with air, and then you take about 15, it takes me about 10 seconds, but they say 15 seconds to breathe it out. And I'm working on that. But so then you breathe it out really slowly, and I hum when I do it. And when you hum, I think the humming is key because it gets that going, it gets your body moving inside. And if you do that for a good 5-10 minutes, then I feel that I can finally sit still and finally connect.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I love that. I'm going to remember that, and hopefully remember that too, because it makes sense to me as you're saying it. A lot of times when I'm in pain, or I've noticed other people in pain, one of the things that would help them is if you hum a little bit.
Yes.
Right? You hum. And so what happens is, what I learned, and even again talking about Abraham, one of their things that they talk about is when she's talking about meditation and she's trying to tell people, she always goes and find the AC or whatever, and she and it does. There's a frequency in that. I wish I could know what hertz that was, and when we hum in our body, but there's a frequency in that will get you tuned in. I love that. That's a great tip. Thank you for that. And so you do art also with clients, or is that just something that you do for your own self?
So my art developed, I was an academic advisor, and my artwork developed basically to keep my attention while I was on the phone with students, because I would try to do email and that didn't work at all, because then I wasn't listening at all. So what I ended up doing was doodling while I was listening, and that helped a lot. So I was actually able to focus on what they were saying. But what would happen is the vibration of the conversation would come out in the doodle. So it would depict.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so funny. Look, I just grabbed a paper. Now when I'm talking or whatever too, I do these little art stuff all over. And sometimes I'm done, I'm like, wow, that was gorgeous.
Yes. And so what I do is I digitize those. So like the one you just had, I
Okay.
would take a picture of it and then I would digitize it on my
Oh,
phone.
that's so cool. Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like a message in there too sometimes, right?
Oh yeah,
When you look at the heart.
most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, wow, like this one I just did here, I'll just show really quick. It's a crown, but on there has this thing like a balancing scale. I don't know if you can see it or not
Yeah,
in the
that's
light I have
awesome.
right here. But I do this all the time. I've always done that. And I've noticed that in doing it, it kind of even clears my thought a little bit if I'm on the phone trying to discuss whatever it is, and it helps clear. So that's another really great tip.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Don't wonder. Yeah.
Get your pen and papers, guy, and just start doodling. My brother's an artist. Actually, there's a lot of artists in my family of all different types of art, but he particularly, actually two of them particularly focuses on actual like drawing art, of people or things and stuff like that. And I know this is so therapeutic for him too, and I feel that's where he found his love in it, because it was very therapeutic for him as well. So art is another form, you guys,
Yes.
to use as a meditation.
And if I might add, when I would listen to Abraham Hicks, and when I still do,
Yes.
I will draw. I have one, but it's over there. But I will draw. If you go on my page, you'll see it. It's my profile picture, not my profile picture,
Okay,
but
your cover picture.
cover picture. Yeah.
The cover. Yeah.
But I drew that listening to Abraham Hicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your profile picture also was something that you drew as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
Lulu said tuned in, tapped in, and probably
turned on.
Yeah. That's what we're doing here today, Lulu. We're getting tapped in and turned on.
Absolutely.
So amazing. I love it. I think anytime people start talking about frequency and vibration, I get so excited, because to me, like, that's the root of your emotions. And one of the things I learned, not listening to a lot of the teachers, and you will hear me refer to Abraham Hicks a lot, because I learned a lot from them. One of the things I learned from them was that our experience here on this earth, it's more of an emotional base. So a lot of us think it's to gain this, to do that, to accomplish this or whatever. But in doing those things, there's emotions that we experience, and that's really our true purpose of being here is the emotion. I was even thinking of, if someone passes on, or when someone passes on and transition over, what's left of them here is the essence of the emotions that they cause other people to feel, or the memory that you have, the emotion of when you remember them is what comes back to you. And so learning to master, in a sense, your frequency, your vibration will help you master how your emotions, I want to say how your emotions flow, but I know there's also a balance with that, also allowing source to do its own thing, within our lives too. And we can't master our emotions 100% of the time, but if I can do it 95% of the time, I want to be able to do that.
Yes.
Right. And not let my emotions control me, which I was a very emotionally controlled person by emotions, and or if I'm happy, extra happy, or
Yes.
And so I love knowing that we have tools like this to help us control our emotions, because that's where the vibration for emotions flow into. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that? 420 meditation.
No, just that I think the other trick is it doesn't matter how many tools you have, but if you don't open the toolbox and actually pick one and use it, they don't do you any good. And
Yes.
and I know a lot of people who know how to use the tools, and so they have the tools, but they're like buried in the backyard somewhere, because
they're admiring it. They're just admiring it on the shelf.
Yeah, and they never use it. And you have to actually put the paint on the brush and put it to the canvas, or turn the music on, or any of that. Reframing, you actually have to like see what is, see what could be, or a lot of what could be's, and then pick one and then go with that one. But just to know it doesn't do you any good at all.
Yes, I love that too. That is a good reminder too, because you can have the tools, but deciding what it is that you want to use, what it is you're trying to create, and pull the tool according to that time purpose, frequency, whatever it is you're trying to achieve right there. So if people wanted to reach out to you, what are some of the things you help people do? Again, if you could remind us, I know you said it at the beginning of the video. What are some of the things you help people do, and how can they reach out to you if they want to get help from you to learn more?
So I help people, first of all, understand, and I like to use the word understand because
I do
that's
too.
like going within and figuring it out.
Yeah.
So I help people understand that they are an electromagnetic engine and
Mm-hmm.
how to use it and how to
Mm-hmm.
maintain it. And when you learn all those things and you learn the maintenance of it and you learn and you actually practice it and get good at it, then your life becomes this amazing synchronous life. I mean, things just
Yeah.
show up in your experience, and
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. So the name of my
Yeah.
website is and my company is Innerstand U, and it's the word Innerstand with a capital U.com. And that's where they can find me. And there on there is, if they just fill in the contact me information, then they'll be on my list. And it's a fairly new
Okay.
website, so I'm kind of just gearing up and getting it going. And so right now there's no actual like a landing page. It's just that contact me at the bottom,
Yeah.
but that'll work.
Okay. Okay. I love that too. Lulu just said, understand. She loves that. I remember my grandmother when she would tell us, she would teach, a lot. I've had lots of mornings where my grandmother taught me just her wisdom and sharing with me. And I would say, I understand. And she goes, no, don't understand because that means you're under it. You want to understand it so it's within you, not
Yes,
overstand it either, but
absolutely.
understand it. And when I remember when you sent me your website, I was like, oh, I love that you have to understand you.
Yeah,
So before we
thank you.
get ready to go, I just want to say, will you leave your links and for the website on the bottom of the comments of this? This will be a way that they can reach out to you. I will also add the information when I upload it to YouTube, so people whoever watching on YouTube will be able to find you as well.
Okay.
Um, is there anything else or that you would like to leave a word of today before you?
Well,
Anything
so
comes to mind that you want to share?
in I'm going to be kicking off this Connect with Renee. It'll be on Tuesday nights, and I'd love to have whoever wants to join in. It's conversations about raising your vibration, what works, what's working for you today, that type of thing. I did it for a while, but I changed the format. So it's going to flow kind of like this, just to give people an idea. It'll be like introductions, review the last week's challenge, have a new topic, hopefully a guest speaker, a quick round robin, and then a weekly challenge. And
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, you can leave the link to that on here as well. It's a
okay,
Facebook group page, you said, right?
yes, and it's free. It's just a group talk on Zoom.
Oh, it's a Zoom. Okay, okay, okay. Well, I'm sure there's a way. How do they reach out to you if they want to join that?
On the website, it'll be. I'll put the link in the comments.
Got it. Okay. All right, Renee, thank you so much for coming and sharing such wonderful tips with us. I'm so
Thank
glad that there
you.
are more people out here helping. I always say on every live, what we're doing is that we're building up our superhero spiritual team so that we're holding each other's hands and lifting each other up. We're helping people who are just becoming aware, helping those who are aware to maintain what they know and be open to expanding more. So I appreciate you taking time to come on and share with us your gift. My
Thank you for
platform is
having me.
open to you. If you have anything else that you'd like to plug, you're more than welcome to come back, okay?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much also. All right, you have a blessed
You
evening.
too. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Oh my goodness, that was such great tools. I love that. Like keep it. Oh, that was beautiful. Some things really quick remembering is that if you want to maintain your vibration, there are tools out there that you can use to help you maintain that. One of the ways I always talk about, and most people that I have on, is through meditation. I love that she just reminded us that you can use art. There's so many different ways that you can use your music, frequency. Binaural beats also help you uh, tune into frequencies as well. Lots of good information. I'm going to go back and take some notes also. All right, so I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you're in for the long run tonight until about 8 o'clock. Oh, all right, I have another guest coming on right after I get off here. Give me about 5 minutes and I will be back on with Suni, and she is the unicorn lady. I'll wait till we get on that video to talk about her. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be right back on All Things Possible. I'll